Hi guys, I'm Larissa Iapichino, a long jumper from Italy.
Larissa, welcome to Inter. How does it feel to be here?
Well, it feels amazing and thank you for having me. It's always so stimulating confronting myself with other realities, other sports. So, I mean, it's amazing here. It's such a nice day, such a nice place. So I'm really enjoying it.
You had the chance to meet some of the players this morning. Anything interesting that came out of there? I saw you also kicking the ball.
Yes, I kicked a ball. Didn't get injured, and it was amazing meeting them and chatting a little bit. It's interesting sometimes exchanging, what our job is like. I mean, we both do sport, but in a different way. So it's interesting to hear about their routines, what they do, how they manage, all the pressure and stuff. So mental health and pressure is a topic that I really care about. So it was interesting hearing it from them.
Athletics. That wasn't your first love, despite your family obviously being much involved with the sport. What was your first love, and how then did you manage to change? Why did you choose athletics?
Well, actually, I always refused to do athletics when I was a kid. I started with gymnastics, and it was my whole life for about 8 years. And then I quit because I was afraid of heights, of gymnastics in general. So I wanted to change and do something different. So I looked around. I could practice a lot of sports, from tennis to volleyball. But then I went on vacation in Monte Carlo, in Monaco, and my mom brought out tickets for the Monaco Diamond League. And I witnessed 10K, women's 10K world record, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know, the atmosphere was amazing. I don't know, I felt something inside me and I was like, I want to try this. I'll give it a shot. So it was July. In September, I went to the nearest club and I tried out. And I remember that it really felt my place, my environment, and I fell in love with the sport immediately, and now I'm here.
You say sport, but obviously track and field is a lot of disciplines. Which one did you start out with, and how did you end up doing the long jump?
I started out with speed. I was a sprinter, and then short after that, I started with hurdles. And I wanted to be a 400-meter hurdler when I was 14, 15. Long jump wasn't an idea. It was out of the picture. I mean, I wasn't that good actually. And what happened is in 2017, so it was my second year doing athletics, I tried out with long jump. I did like this silly competition just for fun. And I managed to jump really far, and I started to improve day by day, competition by competition. And then I don't know, something clicked inside me, and I just felt it was the thing for me in the sport. So I don't know, it's something that came natural, but it took time as well.
Then can you describe to us what long jump is?
Run as fast as you can, then take off, putting your foot on the board, trying to lose as less speed as possible, and then land on your butt. That's the whole thing. But it's a very simple gesture, but it's very complex because you need to be precise, you need to adjust yourself, you need to be on the board, perfectly on the board, trying not to lose any centimeters. You need to have rhythm in your runway and your run-up. You need to study how you're more comfortable in doing the jump itself. So there's a lot of technique and a lot of speed work, a lot of coordination that it takes to jump far. So I don't know, I always say that it's the easiest thing technically, but it's at the same time the most complex gesture that you can do, because there's a lot of little things that have to be put in place at the right time.
You said the long jump is run as fast as you can and then jump. How fast do you run?
How fast do I run? It depends. On good days, I can reach 10/10.2 meters per second, which is circa 37 kilometers per hour. So it's pretty fast, and I mean, you have to try to be as fast as you can, as you said, and take off. And when you put your foot down, you are putting on your foot something like 8 times your weight. So I don't know, it's easier to do it than to explain it. And if I think about it, it's pretty impressive. But it's, I don't know, somehow we managed to fight gravity for a second and, I don't know, do astonishing things with our body. So it's fun, it's difficult, and it's quite impressive if you think that you push your body to the limit and to limits where, you know, humans never do. But yeah, it's kind of what I do.
How much of it then is it about the talent, the instinct, and how much of it is about the technique? Meaning, how do you train for it?
I mean, it's 50-50, 50% talent, 50 and instinct, of course, and 50% work, technique. And I think it's 100% mentality, psychology. So I think that long jump, it's more psychological sport than physical, because you don't have your, the other athletes don't compete with you at your same time. It's very indirect, your opponent is not there. You need to respond or somehow try to manage, you know, the result, the rank in that moment. So you need to be very focused, and you need to be able to switch off when it's not your turn, to get energy, as much energy as possible while you're waiting for your turn. And then you have to be a bit tactical, because you need to move inside the competition as well. It's not only jumping, but it's also where am I at? What is happening? What is she doing? I should respond this way. How do I feel? How do I manage to get through the competition? How many attempts I have left? We have only 6 or 3 sometimes. So it's very complex, but I think it's the beauty of the sport. So I don't know, it's a mix of things that have to be put together, and they have to work together as well.
You said that pressure, of course, is part of your sport, is part of the competition that you have to do. But in your case, pressure comes also within the family, because of course you're coached by your father and your mom, having been a very successful athlete. How does it all come together? How much does that pressure run in your favor or against you maybe sometimes?
Well, I have somehow made peace with it somehow. Yeah, growing up. At the beginning, it was difficult, because when I set foot into a track, I was Fiona's May daughter, and oh, she's gonna be great. Everybody wanted me to succeed somehow, and that is a lot of pressure on a little girl who just want to have fun. So at the beginning, it was, I felt somehow weighted by it. But then growing up and maturing and gaining experiences, I somehow, made peace with it. I know it's part of the game, and I should be inspired by it. I'm lucky, I have the opportunity to have a parent that somehow walked into my shoes before me. So she knows what it means to be an Olympic athlete. She knows what missing a qualification, doing an important no jump means. So I think that I switched, and now I think it's an opportunity more than a weight, a problem, an issue for me. I would give to my younger self this advice: take failure as an opportunity. I had a very difficult relationship with failure, and but I somehow realized that it's an opportunity to be better, to be a better person, to be a better athlete. So the lessons you learn from failed attempts, to use a long jump term, it's something that cannot be trained. So it's very important that you feel the disappointment, that you live through it, and you somehow realize what is the positive side of something that seems very negative.
Thanks maybe to these lessons that you learned, you then went on to winning the Diamond League twice, 2024 and 2025. Not many other Italians did that, correct?
Yeah, I think only somebody did, yeah.
Okay. Do you reckon this might be the most important success of your career? And on the other side, what was the worst disappointment of your career?
Well, yeah, I think Diamond League's final were maybe the highest achievement I did. Maybe now I can put aside also my silver medal world indoor champs. My first world medal after 6 attempts. At attempt number 6, I figured out how to win one, so that was somehow poetic. And then maybe my biggest disappointment would be Tokyo 2025. I presented myself as one of the favorites to win the medals, and I ended up not qualifying for the final, and it was very disappointing. It was shocking also, but I think it was a big turning point in my career because I built up from there, and I think I'm getting better. I think that was the biggest disappointment, but yet the biggest turning point in my career that really helped me afterwards.
What do you think is the biggest lesson from that point specifically?
Well, that you can fall, and that doesn't define you. What really defines a champion, a person with a strong mind, is how that person gets up and focus on the next day, on the next goal. You cannot change the past, but you can change your present, and you can work for your future. So you need to focus on that and just getting stronger from your bad experiences.
So your sport involves a lot of mental focus, a lot of speed, a lot of power, a lot of technical ability and coordination as well. So if you were a footballer, what role would you think Larissa Iapichino would be best at?
Probably striker. I mean, I always thought that was the coolest role. So I don't know, when I was, a kid and I watched football, and sometimes I played football in school with a small ball during ricreazione.
The break.
Yeah, the break, right? And so I was always the striker because I ran a lot, and so I think striker. And then I think we have a lot of similarities, maybe running and trying to be precise. I have to be precise on the board. I have to be precise on trying to strike, of course. So maybe, yeah, striker.
And out of the players here in the current squad, is there anyone in particular you feel you identify with for physicality in terms of what they can do with their body on the pitch, or the mentality, the personality as well?
Well, Well, physically, I don't know. I think they're stronger. Probably, I mean, yeah. But Turam has my same experience as a child of a champion. So I know what that means. It's not easy when you try to walk in, your parents' shoes, and your parent was great, was amazing at doing it. So you have a lot of expectation, of pressure, and he really grew out of it, and he's doing amazing things. And maybe even Più Esposito, because he exploded as a teenager, and so do I. And I mean, it's difficult to mature when you're not mature enough, and be a good player in the senior environment, trying to make a name for yourself, trying to get through the steps that usually come maybe later on in your career. And I mean, you're a kid and you really don't know what to do, but you need to be very strong mentally and keep going.
There are many things that happen on a football pitch. What is the one technical gesture, whether it's a save, whether it's a goal, whether it's a tackle, that impresses you the most when you watch a game?
Saves are crazy. I mean, I don't know how they do that, because I mean, they kick the ball with so much strength and power, and I mean, you have to be there with your own hands and your own body to try to keep the ball out, of the goal. So I think that's crazy. I would never do that.
And jumping.
Also, yeah,
You forgot.
jumping and rolling on yourself, it's wow, yeah.
What is something that either your mom, Fiona, or your father tell you, that something that always sticks with you, and you don't even know that you've got it in the back of your head, but you always do. You have it there.
Well, they always tell me the same thing, which is, you got it. It's inside of you. The good jump is inside of you. You just need to be yourself and just let it be. And that's one of the things that my dad told me before getting to the call room, before winning the silver medal. And I don't know, I got all emotional when he told me that. And my mom wrote me the same thing the night before, so it was actually a coincidence. And I don't know, it is something that it's so simple to say, but so efficient, because somehow it testifies the work that you put into it, the fact that you worked hard for it, and you're there at the moment that counts, trying to get what you worked for. So having someone that really recognizes what you're doing, and they're your parents and they know what it means, it's great. I don't know, I got all emotional, yeah.
But despite the fact that your parents, this phrase they tell you is something I think every coach should say to the people they train.
Of course.
To give that confidence.
Yes.
Something else that motivates you, probably before a big jump, the crucial jump, is the crowd. Is something that really, really gets hyped, the people watching your sport.
Well, we have this thing called clap. We ask the crowd to clap with the rhythm we give them, and then this rhythm just gets faster and faster as long as you get through your run-up and you take off. And I don't know, it's something that gives you a lot of fire. I love it. I don't know, the adrenaline just keeps pumping up and it's amazing. Then sometimes you ask for it and no one cares, but that's the opposite feeling. You feel like a loser, and so.
Do you think it should be instated before taking a penalty?
No. Too much noise. No. Wouldn't recommend.
Your season is well underway. What are your goals? What are your next big appointments?
Well, I'm going to compete at the Diamond League's circuit. My first meet will be in China, in Shanghai, on the 16th of May, and then going through the whole circuit, hopefully till the final. And then we have Euro Champs this year. I'm really excited. It will be in Birmingham, and my mom is from that region, and so it's gonna be...
You can say Derby. It's not
yeah,
forbidden.
she's from Derby. My family.
We shouldn't be ashamed of Derby.
No shame, but I don't know. It's
People know Derby.
no one knows Derby. So it's gonna be cool to have my family, my little cousins cheering for me. So it's gonna be, I think, magical. And then in Great Britain, they have a huge culture of my sport, of athletics. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then the newbie of our calendar, which is Ultimate Championship. I'm not sure if I'm qualified yet because it has its own ranking. That will be in September in Budapest. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me, and keep up with my season. Bye.